Victor, a lonely vampire, wandered through the shadowy mountains. One night, he discovered a tiny, injured robin in the forest. Despite his terrifying appearance, the robin trusted Victor's gentle touch. Victor, feeling compassion for the first time in centuries, decided to help. He brought the bird back to his cold, lifeless castle. Using his ancient knowledge, Victor healed the robin's broken wing. The bird, whom Victor named Sharpie, quickly regained strength. Soon, Chirpy filled Victor's long, silent nights with cheerful songs. Chirpy, ever curious, began exploring the castle. Victor found unexpected joy in the bird's tiny adventures. One day, Chirpy playfully landed on Victor's shoulder. The vampire smiled, a rare and forgotten expression on his face. They became inseparable, the vampire and his little feathered friend. Victor found comfort in Chirpy's presence, something he hadn't felt in ages. One evening, Victor noticed Chirpy's hesitation to fly. Concerned, he gently scooped the bird up and examined it closely. Chirpy had grown weak again. Despite Victor's care, the vampire's heart ached at the thought of losing his only friend. Determined, Victor searched for a way to save Chirpy. He delved into old, forbidden tomes, seeking any spell that could help. Finally, he found a ritual that could extend Chirpy's life, but it required Victor to make a great sacrifice. Victor hesitated, torn between his own existence and Chirpy's. After a long, agonizing decision, he chose to save his friend. As Victor completed the ritual, he felt his powers wane. Chirpy's strength returned, but Victor grew weaker with each passing day. Chirpy sang to Victor, unaware of the sacrifice he had made. Victor cherished every moment, knowing his time was running out. The bond between them grew even stronger. Victor found peace in his choice, despite the cost. One stormy night, Victor collapsed, too weak to continue. Chirpy nestled close, refusing to leave his side. As Victor lay dying, Chirpy sang a soft, sorrowful tune. The vampire smiled, content that Chirpy would live on. With his final breath, Victor whispered a goodbye. Chirpy's song continued long after Victor's heart had stopped. After Victor's death, Chirpy flew out into the world. The castle, once filled with song, became silent and empty. Chirpy searched the forest for a new home, but no place felt as safe and warm as Victor's castle. Loneliness weighed heavy on Chirpy's tiny heart. The bird missed the vampire's gentle presence, his quiet company. One day, Chirpy met a group of forest animals. They welcomed Chirpy into their fold, offering friendship and safety. Chirpy shared stories of Victor with the animals. They listened in awe, touched by the bird's loyalty to the vampire. But no matter how kind the animals were, Chirpy still felt lost. The bird longed to hear Victor's voice, to see his smile again. Chirpy returned to Victor's castle, hoping to feel close to him. The once grand halls now felt cold and lifeless without Victor. In the castle's library, Chirpy found Victor's old books. The bird perched on them, remembering the vampire's quiet study sessions. Chirpy's sadness grew, the memories both comforting and painful. The bird realized that Victor had given up everything for its life. Determined to honor Victor's sacrifice, Chirpy decided to stay. The castle, though empty, was filled with memories of their time together. Chirpy kept the castle lively with its songs. The bird found peace in knowing it was keeping Victor's memory alive. One day, a traveler stumbled upon the castle. The traveler was surprised to find a small bird guarding the ancient ruins. Chirpy chirped fiercely, protecting Victor's home. The traveler, moved by the bird's devotion, left without disturbing the castle. Chirpy continued its lonely vigil, watching over the castle. The bird had become a guardian, just as Victor had once been. Time passed and Chirpy's feathers began to gray. The bird grew older, but its loyalty never wavered. Chirpy's songs echoed through the empty halls. The castle, though deserted, felt alive with the bird's presence. As the years went by, Chirpy's strength began to fade. The bird knew its time was coming, just as Victor's had. Chirpy flew to Victor's old coffin, where the vampire had once rested. The bird nestled inside, finding comfort in the familiar place. With one final, soft chirp, Chirpy closed its eyes. The bird's spirit joined Victor's, reunited at last. The castle, now empty, stood as a silent monument. Victor and Chirpy's spirits lingered, their bond unbroken by death. Centuries passed, and the castle became a legend. People whispered tales of a vampire and a little bird who defied the darkness. A young scholar, intrigued by the stories, set out to find the castle. The scholar was determined to uncover the truth behind the legend. After many months of searching, the scholar found the ruins. The castle, though abandoned, still carried an air of mystery and sadness. The scholar felt a chill as they entered the castle. It was as if the walls themselves held memories of the past. Exploring the castle, the scholar discovered Victor's ancient library. The books were dusty, but their knowledge was intact. The scholar was drawn to a particular tome, one Victor had cherished. Inside, they found a small feather, grey with age. The scholar knew this feather belonged to Chirpy. They realized the bird had stayed with Victor until the very end. Tears filled the scholar's eyes as they understood the depth of their bond. The vampire and the bird had shared a love that transcended death. The scholar decided to write their story so it would never be forgotten. The tale of Victor and Chirpy became a beloved legend. As the scholar left the castle, they felt a warm breeze. It was as if Victor and Chirpy were thanking them for keeping their memory alive. The castle, though empty, was no longer lonely. The spirits of Victor and Chirpy watched over it, content in their eternal friendship. Generations later, the story of the vampire and the bird continued to be told. It became a symbol of love, sacrifice, and loyalty. Children would visit the castle, hoping to see Chirpy's ghost. They left with a sense of wonder, inspired by the bond between the two unlikely friends. The castle, once feared, became a place of pilgrimage. People came from all over to pay their respects to Victor and Chirpy. The scholar's book became famous, spreading the legend far and wide. Victor and Chirpy's story touched the hearts of all who heard it. As the sun set each evening, the castle seemed to glow. It was as if Victor and Chirpy were still there, watching over their beloved home. In the end, Victor and Chirpy found the peace they had long sought. Their love and friendship became a beacon of hope for others. The vampire and the little bird, forever remembered, left a lasting legacy. Their story proved that even in darkness, light and love could endure. And so, the castle stood, a symbol of their eternal bond. Victor and Chirpy, together in spirit, would never be forgotten.